you got to do a titty twister again, but only on 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Give it.
Boom! I am back. Join me on another adventure where we'll be taking photographs in Elkin, North Carolina, and twisting titties. The venue today is at Coley Hall at the Liberty, but first, a word from me. Hey friends, what's going on? It's Scott Stockton from Scott Stockton Photography again, back with another video, and today we got something special. We had a little mail time from my friends at Tamron. They hooked me up with this lens, a 35mm f1.4. So what we're about to do is get on a shoot at a gorgeous venue with an awesome couple, and I'm going to test this out. We're going to put you on top of the camera again. Y'all can navigate around with me as I'm setting up poses, getting shots. I'm going to use a bit of flash today, and you can tag along and see how this baby does. But before we get going, we got to check it out. We got to do a bit of an unboxing. So, never done one of these before. I've seen them plenty of times, and mostly the people that do unboxings, they got things wrong with them, probably, right? Because, it's fun to get new stuff. But I don't know how excited I'll get just kind of opening a box. Got some paper thingies with, got a little lens case. For people that care, it looks like a really nice lens case. I won't be using that. It'll be just straight in my bag. Oh, that's soft. That's soft. I will be using this at some point. Then we'll just pull the lens out, if I can. Sorry. I didn't anticipate this being this much trouble. Okay. Okay. Yay. There's nothing else in here. Styrofoam. Throwing that to the ground. Here we go. Oh, is she pretty? Ooh-wee. That's a fine piece of glass, if I do say so myself, honey. But anyway, oh, and you got that little clear tape right there. We'll get that off. But people who get excited about unboxings, like I said, may have some screws loose, but probably shouldn't get excited over this stuff. Take this little tape off. Ooh, got that glass piece there that looks really nice. You're gonna show me all my ranges and whatnot. Okay, so I will get going on this. I do want to, let me fill you in a little bit though. I sold my Sigma Art 35 1.4. I sold all my Sigmas, to be honest, because I just had too many issues with them. My 35 Art, the pictures it took were very nice, but over time it developed a rattle. I also had issues. I shot with it in rain, and I noticed that the Sigmas don't have good weather protection, if any. Like you can see, the Tamron right here has this little rubber gasket that'll go up against the Z-mount flush as another layer of security to keep water and moisture out, and the Sigmas don't have that. Also, like with my Sigma 85, just straight out the box, this thing needed calibration. And if you're paying that much money, I feel like that stuff should just come calibrated already. And maybe I'm an idiot, but all the Tamron lenses I've ever had and currently have in this bad boy right here, I'm guessing with this bad boy, we'll find out, won't need calibration. It just comes perfect straight out the box. So I don't want to sit here and shit all over Sigma too much, but I have had issues with their lenses. I haven't had issues with Tamron's lenses, so I'm excited to try this out. So that's it. Come along with me. Bye. So I'm about to head out now to the Liberty at Coley Hall in Elkin, North Carolina. We're gonna have a nice little couple shoot out there. Gonna test out this new lens, the Tamron 35 1.4, and rock out with some other stuff. So y'all follow along. Peace. Yay, we made it, and here I am at Coley Hall at the Liberty, spinning around in circles. Just trying to show the place off. It's so beautiful. Great wood floors, brick walls, It's just a beautiful space. So you're going to see we're going to have a lot of fun creating pictures in here.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get belly button to belly button again. Okay, that's good. See, you read my mind.
That's what I was thinking. I was like...
Okay. So anytime we shoot, you can either have your hand in your pocket
Okay.
or on her.
Okay.
So, but sometimes you'll be somewhere where like it would be like...
So right here, I'm just giving my man some instructions on what to do with his hands. If you're ever wondering, if you kind of get stuck in a spot and you're like, oh my goodness, he looks a bit awkward with his hands, what do I do with them? The first thing you should always do is have the guy put the hands on his partner. Now, if they're in a pose to where him putting a hand on her is going to be awkward, super simple. Then just put it in your pocket. You don't have to, you don't have to complicate things, and oftentimes we love to complicate things as photographers, but just keep it simple. Put hands on her, or just keep it in your pocket, and then keep it moving.
So this is a question for him, and I'm just going to get your reaction. So when was the first time that she farted in front of you?
So typically at the start of a shoot, I'll ask a question like that to kind of get everybody laughing, have some fun shots, get everybody loose before we roll into some of the more romantic stuff later. Now you'll see I'm still shooting right here with this Tamron 35 1.4. It's doing great. It's the first time I've had it on the Z body. The autofocus is really fast, which I guess it shouldn't surprise me because Tamron makes great glass. And with it being adapted to the Z6, you could always wonder, how quick will it work? And it was super fast. So right there you can see I got a tight shot, but then pulled away and got some wide shots. And at this point, I see these LED lights in the back behind that curtain, and we're about to go get behind that and have some fun.
Shoot through all these lights, and on the side of this door, they got people out here going crazy.
Okay, so here I felt like the best way to go ahead and get these shots was to be closer to them so that I can control some of these lights, move them out of the way if I needed to, really essentially control the bokeh. So I got a wide angle on, I got that Tamron 35 1.4, which obviously focuses super fast. Super shallow depth of field. I'm shooting at 1.4, and it's just kind of exploratory because I'm moving in, moving out. Sometimes you'll see me grab some strands and pull them in front of the lens a bit, just trying to create different kinds of like patterns or shoot through certain lights just to get some cool effects on these shots. But these turned out fun. These turned out to be some of the ones I think she liked the most. And I really loved them as well, so check these out.
Okay, you took a break. So what I want you to do is, you're just going to this is going to be like a little passion shot. You're just going to grab a hold of some shirt and pull him.
So at this point, we've moved on from the LED lights, and we've been walking around the venue. They have these obviously really nice brick walls and wooden floors and these nice windows. As you can see, I posted them up against a window here, and she started doing some titty twisters on them. So they were having a lot of fun and laughing and doing it, so I decided to have her keep doing it and get some fun, playful shots here. I think that's one thing you should do as a photographer. Like if you see that your couple is playful and they're naturally doing a lot of stuff that's causing them to laugh, and they feel comfortable enough to be themselves and they're laughing and having a good time around you, keep encouraging that. Shoot that, because that's how they are naturally, probably at their house or their apartment or outside if they're homeless. I don't know, but that's how they behave naturally. So you want to capture that, and those pictures will mean so much more to them. I mean, they'll love the ones where you pose them and have them looking all booed up and nice, but these are more natural shots, so you got to take advantage and get those.
Just how you are, but go this way 1 inch. Okay.
Okay, so right here you see me shooting with the 35 Tamron 1.4 again. This can be a tricky shot to get when you're shooting somebody that's heavily backlit like this, but the Tamron performed well, man. I first set up like a darker silhouette shot that I put in black and white here. The autofocus was super fast, which I was shocked by just because of the harsh light backlighting them. I also got a few standard shots here in color that I think turned out nice as well.
Okay, so I'm going to do a few. So we're looking at each other. If you can, brush your hair back a bit. Just so I can see your pretty face. Sorry.
Okay, so as you can see, we set up a nice couch that they had here at the venue. I put it in between these windows just to get the framing right. You also notice that I set up my Godox flash over here with the Magmod Magbox. I believe I have the fabric diffuser on here, and so we're just kind of hitting them with a little bit of light here. I think it looks really nice. Along with the light, I think it looks better than the natural light look, but I went ahead and turned it off and got some natural light shots as well, just so that I could give them some variety. And you can see them right here. You can see the differences, and you know, I don't know. Leave in the comments. I mean, what look do you like better? I kind of like them being hit by a little bit of flash. That means I can have my exposure a little more to the darker side, so that they stand out a little bit more. And I prefer that for my images. I always want to try and have the couple be the brightest element in each shot, just so that whoever's looking at them, their eyes go to them first.
What's tricky is those balls, those lights, they flicker. We just can't see them. So you have to make your shutter speed slow enough to where they stop flickering. Yeah, it's a weird little thing you figure out when you're doing photography. Okay, hold that. I like that. He's looking at her like Top Gun Maverick.
He's looking at her like Top Gun Maverick? I'll see myself out. I have no clue what the hell I was talking about there. What I talked about before that is very true. Have you ever shot in a venue or any kind of place where you haven't changed your settings? Your settings have been constant, but you're going back and looking at the frames, and some of them are bright and everything looks great. Some of them get dark, and you're just like, what's going on? I haven't changed anything. What's happening? The problem is when you have lights like these, they look gorgeous, but they flicker. And, you know, we can't see the flickering happen with our eyes. So if you have a shutter speed that is fairly fast, you're going to catch it flickering while you're shooting your shots. Whereas if you can slow it down, and I believe I shot these at like 1/60th. If you can slow down your shutter speed and adjust your aperture and your light power accordingly, then you get rid of the flicker. And that's what we did here. Look at your boy down here on the ground cooling though. How lazy. Oh, and he crossed his legs? Hell no.
Casual. Okay. So I'm not here. You know what? I am here. Let me move this.
Okay, so right here you see I got the some music going. That's always good, especially if you're going to have them dancing. You know, give them something to dance to. I'm always looking to shoot through stuff. So they're slow dancing, looking at each other, smiling. On this shot here, you can see how it's a bit dreamy off to the sides. That's me shooting through that curtain. And while they're dancing, you'll notice I just kind of start moving around, trying to get different angles, so that you're not shooting in the same spot. Your composition, everything changes as you move around, and you can give them more unique images.
We can do a bit of everything.
So we've been dancing for a bit. I'm going to pull this in a little bit and start orchestrating a little more so we can get some different, more interesting shots here. So you see I'm back with the Tamron 35 1.4. And when I have this lens, I'm shooting it wide open at 1.4, and you can see how sharp it is. But I like to get close with this lens. The 35 is a fun focal length because you can pull away and get some really cool wide shots, but you can also get in real tight and fill the frame with a lot of passion. And at 1.4, you can blur that background out a great bit, especially when you're in closer. So right here, I'm having a lot of fun, mixing it up. They're looking at each other, just playing around with posing. They might kiss. They're resting foreheads. I got her looking at me with her arms over his shoulders. And I might have her smile, close her eyes, just do all sorts of different stuff here, just so I'm in the same pose, but I'm getting different shots. I think that's important, guys. So if you can get multiple shots with the same pose, always try to do that. Tight, wides, have them looking at each other, maybe have them kissing. You can get an array of different looking shots all from the same pose. So never just get one shot in a pose and just move on to the next scene or the next action or anything. Get as many shots as you can and just stack that variety up. And that's what we're doing here. So most of those last shots were shot with that Tamron 35. These ones are with the Nikon 85 1.4. And you'll notice I was standing a bit further back, but now I'm moving in a little tighter just to give, like I just said, a little bit more variety. So I'm giving them multiple looks with this 85.
So stay put like that.
And those look great to me. We've kind of wrapped up that scene. So now we're pulled back quite a bit. I have the 85 here. And we're shooting against heavily backlit scene here. We got all that window, all that light flooding in from the windows here. So she mentioned, especially with that dress of hers, that she'd love to get a spinning shot of them dancing. So what I typically do with those shots is I'll let them play out naturally, and I'll get a bunch of shots that way, just to get more movement. And then towards the end, after I get a couple of like fast shots with movement, I will have them do it in slow motion. And just in case them moving quick, especially in a scene like this, with that heavy backlight might be too much, slowing it down can help make sure that everything is tack sharp. But actually, got some great stuff of them moving faster as well. You'll notice I started out with the 85, and then I moved closer with the Tamron 35 1.4, which I have to say again did amazing with focusing. It's adapted glass onto this Nikon Z6. Did amazing job focusing considering that backlight and not being native glass. These shots turned out awesome. If I had to pick between the 85 shots versus the 35, I actually like the 35 a bit better. It shows the scene off a bit more. And just kind of the sharpness was there. Just kind of loved the tones. It was warm in here. So these are some of my favorite shots from the entire day. Hope you like these. They did change many minutes ago into their nicer outfits. So from here we go outside and shoot in the Coley Hall at the Liberty's Courtyard. Follow along.
The more I get, I like your hand there. Hands in the pocket, perfect, just like that.
Boom, and we're outside. So we're in the courtyard here. I've set up a key pose here where I have the girl put her belly button on his hip bone, and then they just get booed up. She'll put her hands anywhere where it feels comfortable for her. It could be his side, his chest, might be on the side of his face, pull him in for a kiss. There's lots of different variations that we'll do from here. So from where I'm standing right now, we got some tight shots. But you see me backing up now, so now I'm going to try to get some wider shots where I'm pulling in the background with that 85 and kind of taking in the entire scene here. I do have the Magbox there off to the side. I drag that along with me everywhere I go just in case I need it, but right here the light's soft and we're just getting some natty light shots here of this courtyard, and they look beautiful. And I'm very happy with these, but keeping them where they're standing now, I'm just going to roll into some new poses. So from here, those got a bit serious. Now I want to try to get them to have a bit more fun, right? So I'm going to have him come from behind her and kiss her neck, but try to tickle her while he's doing it. Sometimes I can have them do impressions of the Cookie Monster or just various different things while he's kissing her neck. And usually, as soon as he starts that is when I start shooting, and you get some fun reactions out of the girl. So you can get those fun reactions, but then as soon as you're done, you can turn it into a serious thing. You can say, okay, we just had some fun. Now I just want you to kind of come from behind her, wrap your arms around her, and hold a kiss. And then you can get some serious, more romantic shots out of that. So that's what we've done here. Had a bit of fun, and now we're going to strap that Tamron on and maybe get in a little tighter for some shots.
What were the old 1-800, like those women that would like do the sex talk? You have to tell him your favorite frozen meal. Or just something. Do you eat microwave meals or anything like that?
Sometimes.
Hungry man meatloaf. Okay. If not a meal, do you have one in mind? If not,
Yeah, I got one in mind.
Okay. So wait till I say. Girl, we did the weirdest things on this shoot. Okay,
Okay, so as you can see, I'm mixing in some more fun shots here, having her whisper in her sexiest voice her favorite frozen meal. These shots are fun. It helps them open up, laugh, have fun, let their guard down. I like to spice these up and mix these in between some of the more serious romantic shots. It helps to kind of break up the mood of the entire shoot. So then we get back to some more serious stuff. Okay, so here I'm using one of my favorite poses here, the V pose, where they hold hands and kind of form a V, and you have her look back. These are always sweet shots, and you can have him kind of looking off in the distance, GQ style, or you can switch it up and have him hold a kiss on the side of her head. These shots always come out looking amazing and very romantic and intimate, so I always try to squeeze this pose and these shots in on every shoot. Okay, and so for this pose, it's kind of like a reverse prom pose where you have her kind of come from behind, put her arms underneath his and wrap around him, squeeze him tight. You can have her kind of keep her eyes open, looking at you. She can close her eyes. As soon as I get him in this position, I just tell him to kind of bundle up and cuddle up, whatever feels natural, and those are the shots I snap.
Now I'm ready.
Okay, so these are some fun shots. I told my man to think up his worst pickup line he could ever think of, and then I told him to get up in there and kick it to her. So that was funny. We got some laughs out of that, got some fun pictures there. From there, I liked the kind of classic pose where a girl's leaned up against the wall and the guy has his hand up against the wall, and they're kind of just leaned into each other and just kind of sharing a moment. These look sweet to me. So I always try to get some shots like this. So right there, we kind of got two birds with one stone there. We got some fun shots getting their personality, and then we got some sweet romantic shots as well. So like I said, anytime you can get into a pose and get more than one a variation of a shot, get it. And that's what we got here, and we're going to move on to one last shot in this courtyard that involves a bit of flash.
Okay, take a break.
Okay, so for this shot, I back up quite a bit. I got the 85 on. I get a bit low, and I expose to make the ambient a bit dark. And then I have a Godox AD200 back there with the Magbox on it. And I just aim it at the couple and dial in my lighting power and snap. And that's it. Just wanted to get one little flash shot here that's a bit different from the rest, and then we move on to the train tracks.
Let me have you guys hold hands. And then
okay, so to start out here on the tracks, I want to get some movement, get them holding hands and walking towards me, looking at each other, having a silly goose time, and I just snag a few of these shots. These turn out fun. You can kind of get a bit of an idea of where they're at just based off the pics. And then we roll on to the actual train. Okay, so here I get some fun shots, get her sitting there in the train, him kind of booed up, get a few shots of like that, and then I do get a shot standing further away, more of a pulled back shot of them sitting in the train together. And then we move to the caboose of the train, if you will, or the end of the train, and get them kind of booed up. I want to get a lift here, and we get some fun shots back here. So you will notice here that I am using the Godox Magbox here. So I'm exposing a little bit dark, not too dark though. I kind of want to keep this a bit natural. I'm just using the softbox from the Godox AD200 and the Magmod Magbox just to hit them with some soft light to make them kind of pop a bit from the scene. Always want the eyes to go to them first. So we get some fun shots back here, them looking at each other, them kissing each other, and then we have him give her a lift. And on all lifts, I tried to remind the ladies to go ahead and pop your legs back. And this is where we end the shoot. We had a lot of fun back here. I do want to say I shot the majority of this shoot with the Tamron 35 1.4 and the Nikon 85 1.4. The Tamron 35 1.4 is my first time using it, and it's amazing. It's an amazing lens, and this will forever be in my bag. So if you need a 35, a nice, amazing prime for your wedding days or whatever you shoot, you need to look into that lens. And until next time, friends, subscribe, like, comment. And in the comments, go ahead and leave me what you'd like me to do a video on next. All right, bye.